We're going to call this meeting to order. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional and unceded territory of the Algonquin Nation. Please stand for the national anthem. Okay. Is there, nope. Approval of the agenda is the first item on the list here. Moved by Susan Irwin, seconded by Bill Everett. That the agenda for the regular meeting of council held November the 11th, 2025 be approved as amended to include the addition of the following items. Item 12, under section 239-2K, quote from CP Rail for the Titchburn Rail Crossing will be moved into closed. And item number 19, closed session item regarding a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. All those in favor? Carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof by any member of council on any item on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we'll note that. Moved by Lynn Clegg, seconded by Nikki Gowdy, that the minutes from the regular council meeting held October 28th be approved as presented. Any errors or omissions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Mayor's remark. The recognition of Remembrance Day ceremonies held today were excellent. There were great crowds in the Charlotte Lake one, good attendance in Arden. It was cold. But it was so nice to see some of the old veterans sitting in the front rows and making us recognize that they've been through so much and they're still with us, and they go out, and we're so happy to have them. And also too, I want to tell you the banners that are up, I've had more comments from people saying how wonderful it is and how seeing the names of their ancestors just warms their hearts. So we couldn't have done anything any better than to put those up, and next year we'll have even more. I'm sending people to you already, Chris. Reminder that the 2026 budget survey is now available. The link is on the Township website. When do we get sent the comments? Does that come to us or?
No, the comments for the survey go to Michael, do they not?
Yeah,
I think they go to Michael.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be
Is
looking
Michael
after
going to
those.
share those with us?
We'll just have to make sure he
I'll
does.
have to ask him. I will tell you that I have spent about 20 hours this week going through numbers. We've started really high and we're down to a little over 5%. So it's a tough one though, because there's so much that we need that we just can't afford to have. But that will be coming in another meeting. No delegations tonight?
None,
No public meetings?
none.
Consent agenda, moved by Duncan McGregor, seconded by Bill Everett. The council accepts the correspondence received for November 11th, 2025 meeting for information as it's considered routine items. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. No deferred items?
No, there is not, Madam Mayor.
And we are at staff reports. Public Works. Come on up. Our first motion is moved by Lynn and seconded by Bill that council receive the Public Works activity report as presented by the Public Works manager for information. Any questions for Steve and Amanda on the report? Go ahead, Nikki.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My question isn't about your report. It's about the announcement made yesterday. Kathy and had kind of mentioned it earlier about the pothole and
Intervention.
and repair
38
program.
Yeah.
You'll be working on that. Hopefully we are successful.
Yeah.
So,
It's too bad it couldn't be 380,000 instead of 38,000. That's not going to do a lot of potholes. I'm sorry, but every little bit helps. I won't talk badly about it. Any other questions or comments for the roads report? All those in favor? Carried. Next, we have quote from CPL.
That's in,
Okay, that's enclosed. Capital projects. Moved by Duncan McGregor, seconded by Susan Irwin. The council received the Public Works project status report as presented by the Public Works manager for information. Any discussion on that or comments? Nikki?
thanks. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I asked at the last meeting, and Lance was hopeful that your plow truck would show up. Any plow truck show up for us?
To you, Madam Mayor, it's November. He's telling us November, so.
And we're in November, so still time, yes. I do notice that a lot of our projects have brought in just under the budget amount, so that's good. And those extra funds are doing some different things, such as the little side things on 509 and some extra patching. That's good to see. Okay, no more questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we have a motion moved by Nikki Gowdy, seconded by Duncan McGregor. The council received the curbside garbage pickup preliminary report as presented by the Public Works manager for information, and that council authorized the Public Works manager and staff additional time to collect accurate data, consult with relevant sources, and conduct a detailed analysis of all variables affecting the potential implementation of curbside garbage pickup, and that council directs staff to define a proposed service area for future analysis and report back to council no later than May 2026 with findings and recommendations. Discussion. Nikki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm all for giving extra time and getting a good report. I was just wondering if maybe we could have it by late February, as Councillor McGregor had asked about putting it on as a question on the ballot, and we'd have to make that decision by March.
Can you do that?
yes, I'll double check that with the act, with the Municipal Elections Act as to, because there is a specific time that you have to have any kind of questions on the ballot. So it's either got to be an answer, either yes or no. We did that before with other ones. So I think it's just those couple questions that you.
But really, in order to do that, to be fair to the electorate, you're going to have to be able to give them a number and then what that would affect their taxes, because certainly it's not in the taxes now, and we're looking at increases every year. So they'd need to know that to make the decision, and where we're going to do pickups. Are we going to do it in just the houses fronting on certain roads, lanes, at the end of lanes? There's a lot to figure out yet. Susan?
If the taxpayers are going to be paying, they're going to want pickup throughout the service area if they're going to pay for it. Now, there are options. I mean, you can put containers for recycling and garbage on the main roads so that the private roads people residing on the private roads can then deposit their garbage on those in those areas. But
So
lot
those
to-
kinds of costs will have to be considered as well.
exactly. And I commend the staff for identifying the areas that need to be researched. So well done. A lot to think about.
Yeah.
And, it may not be possible to implement quickly. It may be a few years down the road to gather all the information. So
I kind of like E360 and Stanley sanitation because it goes out of the municipality, saves our waste sites from piling up. Duncan?
So, yeah, I spoke at the last meeting about the referendum question, which I believe, under my understanding, we have to have submitted by March 1st, which
Jody just said the end of the year.
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Okay.
It's March.
Okay, so March 2nd. So I'm hoping that we can have some kind of report back by the beginning of February to give the clerk's department reasonable time to make sure it's done properly and on the ballot. This is just my concept, but what I was looking to pose the question to the municipality was, we've done our research. We assume that waste collection is going to cost 13%. Understanding that, are you willing to pay that additional taxes in order to have curbside pickup? So that's my first statement about the referendum question. The second thing is for our public works manager. How do you want us to get this information to you? So you've asked some questions in here, kind of preliminary. Do you want us to fill this out and send it back to you? Do you want an email? Do we need to set up a separate meeting? What do we need to do to make this happen?
Yeah, because there is a second motion to this as well. And it's in regards to the scope, because I think that the staff are going to need to know, like, the service definition to include all households, comparison of contracted or in-house. There's a lot of this that's on the second resolution that you might want to sort of look at and consider as well
So
as part of.
with this motion that's in front of us, it just basically talks about getting it done by May 2026. That date you're saying should be March, not May.
No, I'm saying the beginning of February, because we have to have it submitted by March, by the beginning of March.
Okay. Is it okay if I change this date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it would be no later than February 1st, February 15th?
How long does the clerk need to?
We'll get
February 10th?
10th.
So I'm sorry, February 10th would be the meeting that Public Works usually comes and presents to us.
Mhm.
So
She
February
went by
10th.
that February
So
10th.
let's say 11th, the day after the meeting. Okay,
The report would have to be for February 10th
to be presented at council.
to present it at council on
Okay.
February 10th.
All right, so the 10th,
Mhm.
26th. All right, got it.
And I think staff will do their best, but they can't promise. That's the thing, is there's an awful lot of work. They've been going out right now and looking at certain ones, and I know Amanda has been talking to Steve Keeley, who instituted it and helped in Tay Valley Township, so,
It's also our season.
what's that?
It's also season.
Yeah, so.
Any chance there's somebody at the high school, a student that might be able to take a look at doing some help with as a project?
You'd have to check, yeah, they could check that
Might be
out.
worth asking. There's could be somebody in grade, whatever they call that, 13, that's not 13 anymore. The
Well,
Victory Lap, maybe there's a Victory Lap student that loves to do things like this. Because again, I think you'd want to see it plotted on paper and how it could work instead of just, thinking it out, because there's a lot of roads. Okay, so the motion has been altered to change it from May 26th to February the 10th. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay. Now this is scope of detailed analysis. Moved by Nikki Gowdy, seconded by Bill Everett. The council directs the public work manager and staff as part of the continued review of curbside garbage pickup to include in the detailed analysis the following components. Service definition to include all households within the township with vacant land not eligible for pickup. A comparison of contracted and in-house service options, including equipment, staffing, and operational costs. Review of potential contract modifications with Mterra. Environmental compliance assessment and any related approvals or regulatory requirements. Identification of other potential or indirect costs associated with program implementation, and determination of the estimated cost per household. And that this detailed analysis be presented to council as part of the comprehensive report due no later than February 10th, 26. Does that cover everything you think we need in it? Sounds pretty good. All those in favor? Carried.
and I'm sure if the staff have difficulty, we'll try to bring as much as they possibly can. with it.
Well, the other option is the staff bring it to a point and hire a consultant to finish it off.
Mhm.
There's got to be somebody who does this for a living.
Yeah, and like I
depending on the
mentioned,
cost.
they have already been, like Amanda had already contacted Steve Keeley, who is familiar, had did it in Tay Valley. So he might be willing to help at some point.
Duncan?
So I understand that we're not going to be able to get this report finalized by February 10th in a detailed manner that we can take to the bank. All I'm asking is that the report come forward with an idea of what this could cost for a referendum question. This project is probably going to take multiple years to implement. Not looking for an exact report. It doesn't have to be a 200-page document, just your estimation of what this could cost.
But it needs to be a pretty close estimation if it's going to be a referendum.
Yeah.
At today's cost.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, we'll see what staff can do, and if they have money in the budget to hire somebody to help them out with it, then that's what we'll do. All right, moving on. Moved by Bill Everett, second by Duncan McGregor, that council received the October construction details building report as presented by the chief building official for information. Andy's not here, but it's just a regular old report.
Mhm.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. Moved by Duncan McGregor, second by Lynn Clegus, that council received the capital project report as presented by the chief building official for information. Go ahead. Nikki?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kathy, do you, we budgeted for, well, 80,000 for engineering. Were we able to do any more engineering for projects that we weren't working on this year? So that if any grants came through, we were prepared. Like, I think that was the thought behind the extra money. Were we able to do any of that work or?
No, we were not.
But it is back in the budget this
Mhm.
year.
It is.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's 80,000. I can't remember. There's so many numbers.
Me too. I can't remember
Yeah.
the numbers either.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Now, voting, moved by Susan Irwin, seconded by Lynn Clegus, that council receives the administrative report from the CAO clerk entitled Voting Method for the 2026 Municipal Election for Information. And that council approves the recommendation of the CAO clerk to continue the use of internet and telephone voting as the alternative voting method for the 2026 municipal and school board elections. Now therefore it be it resolved that council authorize the continued use of internet and telephone voting as the alternative voting method for the 2026 municipal and school board elections in accordance with Section 42(1) of the Municipal Elections Act, SO 1996, Chapter 32, as amended, and further that the bylaw be passed later in the meeting. Any discussions? Duncan?
Yes, I had a question from the public. So with this particular voting method, what are the methods used to ensure account accuracy and impartiality?
Okay, we have done this telephone, internet and voting for the last, I think since 2018, 2020, for the last 3 or 4, anyway. It's an independent voting system and it's, we use a reputable third party provider. So we had IntelliVote last time. As part of the Frontenacs, the 4 municipalities, we'd go together and do an RFP to get, so that's what we will be doing. So whoever that reputable, and that's in secure electronic voting for Ontario municipalities. There's also testing for accuracy. The system is tested before and after voting to confirm that votes are recorded and counted correctly. It's a unique voter credentials. So each voter receives their own personal PIN to ensure only eligible voters can vote. And it tells you that they can only vote once. Privacy and security is votes are encrypted and anonymous. No one, including election staff, can see how any person voted. Also, audit and oversight. Independent audits and detailed reports confirm the integrity of the vote. So we hire, folks to do those kinds of things. And I think last time Michael was our auditor. So you have so lots of them have the treasurers to do that. Also, too, as my role as the clerk, it ensures all processes follow the Municipal Elections Act and are carried out impartially. We also do our own election policies and procedures, how things lay down. So no, it's a fairly secure way to vote.
And I think we do have the ability, if someone needs to come in here, that they can be sat down with the phone or computer, whatever they need, to help them vote as well.
That's correct.
You must know my follow-up question. Thank you. That was gonna be my follow-up question. Thank you, Kathy, for your response.
And the nice thing about it is you're not waiting till midnight for the results. It's pretty fast. Susan?
Through Madam Mayor, for those who come in and require assistance, I know that one of the complaints in the past was that it wasn't a private experience. They were dealing with staff at the front desk and instead of, a private office or whatever. So we have better facilities this time, so I'm hoping that that could be addressed.
They could use my office.
Well, I'm surprised with that because we did have we had computers in 2 separate offices. And we would just go in and explain to them, this is what and we would stay out in that. But a couple of the, especially some of the elderly, they wanted us, can you please just stay right in here with us? But I said, well, we can't look at your vote. I don't care. I just need this help. So some of them were fairly good and they were quite happy that how quickly they could vote as well.
There's no way they can have a piece of paper and have it input right there
No.
when they sit.
No, you can't.
But still,
No.
you'd know.
No.
Yeah. Yes, not everybody's computer literate yet, nor will they be. All right, so the motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carried. All right, no committee reports, communications.
No,
We're at bylaws.
we have bylaws already.
My goodness. Moved by Nikki, seconded by Bill, that bylaw 2025-48 being a bylaw authorizing electors to use alternative voting methods in the 2026 election be read a first, second, and third time and finally pass this 11th day of November 2025. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Any notices of motion?
No, there is not, Madam Mayor.
Any giving of notice of motion?
No,
New or other business?
no, there is not.
Okay, we have a motion to move into closed session, moved by Bill Everett, second by Lynn Clegus. The council resolve into closed session pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act to discuss a proposed and pending acquisition of disposition of land by the municipality and section 239(2) quote from CP Rail for the Titchburn Crossing.
And that's a position plan procedure. Okay, criteria instructions to be applied to any negotiations.
Okay.